Hi everyone. So I'm in my office. It's late, but I've had a really hard evening, and I know that a lot of Jews nationwide have had a really hard couple of evenings. I've had a really difficult year, and the last few months have been unlike anything that we've experienced as a community, but especially as a Jewish student community. And this evening was especially difficult for me because our student senate here at UCSB passed a resolution to condemn the Israeli government and the Israeli Defense Forces. And upon the passing of this legislation, many students in the room were cheering, they were praising God, they were yelling in joy as Jewish students around them and Israeli students around them were crying out of pain and out of what this meant for them. And I, as a Jewish student leader, feel pain because if I have this position in this incredible public university and I'm a proud Jew, how is it possible that my community could be crying? And I just want to read what I was going to read when this legislation first came about, and I didn't get the chance to say it in front of the entire Senate, unfortunately. But this is what I was going to say. I'm frankly sick and tired of my life and my leadership revolving around the defense of my people and our right to exist. I want to know how many of you have been to Israel or Palestine. How many of you have taken a UCSB course on Middle Eastern politics? What makes you qualified to vote on foreign policy legislation? And what gives you the nerve to discuss Israel's specific foreign policy on your agenda nearly every week when your Senate has done nothing actionable to support Jewish and Muslim students on this campus? When I lived in Israel, the Iron Dome saved my life when Hamas fired rockets at me and the Jewish people for weeks. The IDF saved my life when I watched a Hamas terrorist stab a young man in front of me in Jerusalem when I was 19, and a civilian, off-duty, saved the lives of countless others by neutralizing the terrorist. Who are you to be voting on a resolution to condemn an army you do not know in a land that is foreign to you? You want to help Palestinians and Israelis and Jews and Muslims, then do something tangible and actionable. Create a task force, invent a special project, allocate funding towards civil discourse retreats, anything but mindless voting for the same legislation every year that causes nothing but harm to our campus community. And I didn't get a chance to say that. And even if I did, I think the legislation still would have passed. And I think the point is as I was feeling such despair over the fact that I'm a Jewish student and I have this position and I have this leadership and I have this ability to make change, and yet there's Jewish students in this room that are suffering, I also saw pockets of where my leadership mattered. I saw Jewish students who were thanking me for being in the room, and Jewish students that were thanking me for continuing to show up despite the pain that I've experienced at the hands of this university and many of its students. I had a non-Jewish student come up to me today and thank me for showing them what it means to be proud of your identity and being steadfast in what you stand for, regardless of whether or not they agree with me. And may that be a message to every Jew and to every student who's struggling, that you may see many losses before you see a win, and you may see many, many people around you go through pain before you see joy. Before you see a win, and you may see many, many people around you go through pain before you see joy. But something that you should know is that our community is beautiful, it is compassionate, it shows up for each other, and that even if I don't see an impact at UCSB during my time here, I know that being a proud Jew makes an impact on those around me. And that is why I encourage every Jewish student to stand up, every Jewish person to support their peers, because leadership is leadership, whether big or small, whether loud or quiet. You can be there for your community, and you can show up, and you have to show up, because we're not going anywhere.